Hello everyone, my name is Emily and welcome to another video on Emily XO, where I put up new videos every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time. We do lifestyle, beauty, a little bit of everything. Today's video is one that I'm super duper excited about. So it is the, I guess technically second weekend in April, first weekend in April, first full weekend in April, which means it is time to talk about March's book of the month, which was The Dazzling Heights. So The Dazzling Heights is written by Katharine McGee and was a sequel to the book called The 1,000th Floor, which I had read last year. Now, I'm going to do everything in my power to keep this spoiler-free for you guys. I do want to keep all my reviews spoiler-free. However, if for whatever reason I do get into something, I will leave a little edit in, like right here, and tell you guys where to skip ahead to avoid the spoilers. So this is the first book in this series. So this is the first book in the series, which is, like I said, is called The 1,000th Floor, and it was a really good book, a really intriguing book. I am just going to go through the synopsis of this one here just to give you guys kind of a taste of what the plot is about without giving any spoilers away for you. So, New York City as you've never seen it before. A 1,000-story tower stretching into the sky, a glittering vision of the future where anything is possible if you want it enough. Welcome to Manhattan 2118. 100 years in the future, New York is a city of innovation and dreams. Everyone there wants something, and everyone has something to lose. And then it breaks down the different characters here. I'm not going to go through each of their little blurbs, but I will just bring you into the characters. So there's Lita Cole, Eris Dodd Radson, Rylan Myers, Watt Bakrati, and Avery Fuller. So what I really liked about the first book is I enjoy futuristic books. I enjoy post-apocalyptic books. I like seeing what people envision of the future. I think it's way more exciting than to read about, our times. I also really like historical books that take place, hundreds of years ago as well. Basically, I like books that don't have to do with right here, right now. So it's set in the future, as it said, 2118, and the tower is where everybody, well not everybody, but where all of these characters live. It's 1,000 floors, and basically they took all of New York City and just put it in this giant tower. Where, technology is super duper advanced. They've got, service robots, it's all automated. However, the lower you are, the poorer you are. And, each floor you go up, it gets richer and richer. But they've got, everything in here. They've got farms, they've got schools, they've got hotels, they've got shopping malls, they've got parks. It's all in this tower, which is a really interesting and cool concept. I also like the symbol of the higher you are, the richer you are. It's like climbing the social ladder, climbing the wealth ladder. So it's a really interesting symbolism to give to the book. So the whole premise of it is these different characters who are all in their teens, I would say roughly. I don't know if it ever gives specific ages, but they're about 16 to 18 in that window there. And the different characters in the first book and that play over to the second book, they're at different points in the tower. Like Lita Cole that we mentioned, she's pretty up there. Eris is up there, and they're all friends with Avery, who's actually, she lives on the 1,000th floor. Her parents are the richest of the rich. But then some of the other characters like Rylan and Watt, they live way down lower, but they get tangled into the mess of the upper, wealthier people. And it's very like Gossip Girl-esque. If you've ever seen Gossip Girl, it's all about the wealthy and how they live and how they can manipulate the world, and then how people who are not wealthy view them. So there's a lot of symbolism there, which I really enjoyed the show Gossip Girl, so I really enjoyed this book. And it's all about, can money get you everything? Does money equal happiness? Just because you have all this wealth, does that really make you better than anybody else? Does it fix all your problems? And as this book shows, it doesn't. However, by having money, there's a lot that people will overlook. You can do not great things, but because you have the money to kind of pay people off in a way, you can live a better lifestyle. So that's just kind of a general overview. Just because this is a sequel, I wanted to give a little more backstory on the first book before jumping into the second book. So the first book ends with a pretty big cliffhanger, a pretty big moment. It was, you know, it was really big. It was really good. I really liked the first book and the plot of it all. So the second book, though, what was really interesting to me is the first book definitely ends with a little piece that says, okay, this is where the second book is going to go. And the second book picks up, I think there's like a month after, like there's about a month time jump, but it still starts off, it starts off where the first book left off. It picks up on that same story that the first book ended on. What I also liked about both the books is they start with a mystery, and the whole book kind of helps you piece that mystery together. It gives you a little bit more here, more there, just so you start to figure out what exactly is going on. What I didn't like is the second book picked up on that first story, or that first story left off. It picked up and it continued that, and you think, okay, so this is going to be a really key part to the plot. And then it wasn't. The piece that where the first book left off and the second one started, you think that's going to be way more central in what's going on in the Dazzling Heights, and it's just not. It's pretty much mentioned in the beginning, and then like they give you a little tiny sliver of it towards the middle, and then all of a sudden at the end it's like, oh hey, remember this is important now, which I guess I understand, because with the point of view it's being told for, and what I do like about this one and the second one, this one and the first one that I didn't mention, you get chapters from each character. So it bounces character to character. Like you get some chapters with Lita, you get some chapters with Watt, some with Rylan, you know, etc., etc. So it's really nice in that sense. However, the piece you don't get that they never talk about, which I guess, like I said, makes sense. I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumbling up here. The point of view it's told from doesn't reflect the point of view in the very, very end of the first book. So it makes sense that it's not discussed, but it's just a little odd, because it's supposed to, I guess, come as a surprise to all of the characters that are actually featured in the book, how it all plays out. So I guess it makes sense that you don't really find out about it because you're reading it from their point of view. But I still just felt like maybe there could have been more clues, more that they picked up on before it just all of a sudden happened. And like I said, I'm trying really hard to not give any type of spoilers, so I know it's very vague, but that's just kind of how I felt about it. But overall, I really liked the second book. Sequels are very hit or miss for me, because they either continue the story really well or they play the same story out, and it's just kind of, it's not great. But this one was actually really well done. I think there was a lot of character growth in this one. In the first book, you know, because they're very wealthy people, a lot of them come off as shallow, but I think by the end of that book and throughout this book, there's a lot of growth for the characters, and there's a lot that they learn. And, you know, with the big, we're going to say, scandal that happened in the first book, they're obviously very changed people in the second book because something very big and disastrous happened. So there was a lot of growth in that sense. So overall, I actually really, really did like this one. The writing style is very similar. It all feels, you know, pretty similar. The story continues well, so I think it's really good in that sense. So going back to kind of the overarching plot of it all, the first one, you know, ended on it. The second one picked up on it, and then it didn't really hit home until the end. And I know there's going to be a third book, which I believe comes out in, I think it comes out in August. I know there's going to be a third book, but the kind of overarching plot wasn't really there the whole book. Then it was there at the end, and then it seems to have just possibly fizzled out by the end of this one. I don't really know until I read the third one, but the way the second one ended is just a little odd given everything that had happened. But overall, I really enjoyed the book. I'm really excited to read the third one. I think this is a really great series. Like I said, I enjoy really futuristic stuff. Now, there is the piece of, you know, with all this wealth, you have to wonder, are people really like this? Can things like this actually happen? So there are times that the way things play out does feel a little unrealistic, but, you know, also I have never experienced that kind of wealth. I've never interacted with people, you know, quite of that status. So maybe this is more true than we realize, or maybe like a lot of the wealthy people stereotypes, you know, they are just that, they're stereotypes and it's overplayed. Either way, I think the characters are well written. I think, you know, it gives us kind of a glimpse into those type of people. There are so many different characters, so you do get, you know, lots of different pieces. And you get lots of different viewpoints and lots of different types of characters, types of people that you interact with, which is, you know, pretty cool. I really like that. Like I said, I think the plot is good. It's just, it felt a little bit like, here it is, ignore, here it is. But maybe this is just one of those books that the third one is really going to tie it all together in the way that it needs to be tied together. So like I said, that one I believe comes out in, I want to say it comes out in August. I'll probably read that one pretty quickly when it comes out. I think I'm just going to like throw 2 books into 1 month. I don't remember what August's book is supposed to be, but we'll just kind of combine them, and I will touch base on the third one once I actually do get a chance to read it. But I do recommend this book. I think they are really fun to read. They're definitely in like the YA group, so if you like that type of story, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. The plot was weird at times, but it definitely was gripping. It definitely was exciting. There was a good climax and everything like that. So overall, I really enjoyed this book. I'm really glad I read it. Both of them are really good books. So I think that is about it. That's all I have for you guys on these ones. I also really like the covers on them. This one's obviously, it's glittering a little bit weird, but this one's obviously supposed to be the tower here. And I like the tagline on it as well. The higher you are, the farther. The higher you are, the farther you fall. And then this one, which I actually just realized what these 2 towers are, and they actually do play significance into the plot line. And the tagline on this one is, all that glitters is not gold. And I feel like, yeah, you guys can't even see that. But anyway, I do really enjoy it. So if you have not already read The 1000th Floor and The Dazzling Heights by Katharine McGee, I definitely go recommend checking them out. I know I got this one on Amazon pretty cheap. This one I believe initially was a Christmas present, but you could also check out your local library and see if they carry it. I think that is about it. That's all I have for you guys today. So April's book, that'll be the one that we'll talk about at the end of this month, is called Return to the Dark House. This is another sequel. It is a sequel to Welcome to the Dark House, which was kind of a horror, thriller, murder mystery type game. I don't fully remember how this one ended, so I'm going to have to re-catch up on the plot of this one before I fully start this one. But this is our book that we are reading this month. If you haven't read this one, you want to do that first and then catch up on this one. But I will see you guys in like the first weekend of May, and we'll talk about this one and see what we thought. So that is about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I really do enjoy doing these videos for you guys. I really love reading and I love discussing books, so I hope you guys are enjoying it too. If you did read these books or you plan on reading any of the books coming up, please make sure to do so. If you have not already watched the video explaining this whole series, I will link that up in the eye right now. Probably should have done that at the beginning, but that's okay. And that'll give you all of the books that we are reading this year, so you guys can decide what months you want to join in on. But that is about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below on what books you are excited to see or what some of your favorite books are. And I think that is about it. I will see you all next time. Bye.